Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Kanisha. Today I'm talking about Warrior Nun Season 1, Episode 4. This was a pretty good episode, and I actually want to start with talking about the scene where Ava and Chanel are together. I thought that was a really beautiful scene, actually. It was a nice feel-good moment, especially after we see Ava have a terrible night. But yeah, so JC finds her, and they end up in a new mansion. And yeah, with Ava and Chanel, that was just a really nice scene about finding yourself. And Ava mentioned she never had the opportunity to figure out who she was or figure out like what kind of clothes she likes to wear. And now she gets a chance, to be with Chanel and figure out who she is, who she wants to be. But that sort of message kind of confused me, because I feel like Ava doesn't get the chance to figure out who she really is, because I believe it's been decided for her, especially with being forced to have the halo, and the halo did what it did to her. So I think I said this when I talked about the first episode. I think Ava is a chosen one, and it's gonna be like a chosen one kind of story. So in that way, I don't think she can truly have a exploration of who she really is like most other people get to do. So while the scene was really nice, really sweet, I kind of feel like that can't happen in this kind of story. But I could still be wrong, and I'm only four episodes in, so something crazy could happen. But I think it's safe to assume that Ava is destined to be a warrior nun and lead the sister warriors into battle and fighting demons and all of that. So as far as the finding yourself kind of, metaphor or whatever, I think this story is actually going to be more about how and why Ava accepts the path that she's been forced into. I don't think it's really even a possibility that she doesn't become the warrior nun. I mean, it's the title of the show. There's all this lore about the original halo bearer and all that. So yeah, that's not going to be happening. So it was a great scene, but it felt kind of misleading. But okay, but yeah. We also see that Cardinal Duretti is taking over the OCS. I don't like him. I get bad vibes from him. And it really actually started when he was introduced in episode 2. The way that he walked into the scene, and the camera was behind him, he had his back to the camera and was walking around the church, and eventually met up with Father Vincent. Just the way it was shot, I just felt like I wasn't sure if the guy that they were introducing was supposed to be a good guy, was supposed to be someone that we should trust. And I've been trying to convince myself that he is genuine and he is, righteous. But there's just some things about him I just don't have a good feeling about. So it was his intro, and I still haven't forgotten that he has a divinium ring, and there's no reason to have that. If the divinium is so sacred and it's, only supposed to belong to the church, like, it doesn't make sense to make jewelry out of it if it's so special and, they need it for weaponry. Maybe the ring can protect him, and maybe divinium jewelry is something that cardinals can get from the church who are involved with the OCS. But to me, that almost makes it worse. Like, if that was the case, that all the cardinals or the higher ranked people in the OCS get these divinium jewelry, then to use something so precious for like ceremonial reasons or I don't know, some kind of formality, it seems a little corrupt, a little on the corrupt side of things. Or it could be, I had this thought that maybe a divinium ring was something that belonged to an angel, kind of like the shield, and it kind of seems like the divinium sword might have belonged to Adriel, that we saw in like a flashback when Ava was learning about warrior nun Arella. I hope I said that right. But yeah, so maybe the divinium originally belonged to angels, and now the church has gotten access to it and is, keeping it away from non-believers, and they're using the divinium to their advantage to fight the demons. So maybe the ring belonged to an angel, but I still think that's not a good reason for him to just have it and wear to party. So that's just like another strike for me. And what I didn't like about him was his little chat with Lilith. I understand that he is trying to do everything he can to recover the halo. The halo can be dangerous to people, especially if the bearer doesn't know how to use their powers. So all of that I get. But the way he's kind of going about doing it while talking to Lilith in private seems shady. And as the leader of the OCS for now, I suppose it's within his rights to talk in private with anyone whenever, he chooses to. So, like, on the surface, it's not a problem. But considering all the other things that he's been doing, I just don't like it. And I hope to be proven wrong. I don't really know why I'm getting these bad vibes, and these things are sticking out to me as something that's suspicious, but maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing. But that's just how I feel right now about him. And I don't know. I hope he's not a bad guy. I don't want him to be a bad guy, but I'm not surprised if it turns out he has some ulterior motives for the OCS. He also seems to be picking a fight with Arctic, and I know that Arctic has uncovered some divinium, and it's not for them according to the church. The divinium should stay with the church. I also don't like that he never actually tries to explain why divinium shouldn't be allowed to be experimented on. I think he assumes that something awful is going to happen, and maybe he's right in that, but I just feel like we don't really know what the consequences are going to be if Dr. Jillian is able to finish her portal to whatever. I hope she knows where that portal goes. Because when she had the party and debuted the prototype, she stuck her hand in the portal, and I'm just like, do you know where your hand is? Is it like it could be go to hell? It could like go to like a construction site, it could go to a construction site, and maybe she stuck her hand through a bone saw or something. Like, of course my mind goes to all of the terrible things that could happen, but like I'm not sure that what Dr. Jillian is doing is gonna be so horrible, and the Cardinal seems so adamant and willing to do whatever it takes to stop Arctech, and I'm just not convinced that what he's doing is justified. So I hope there's more clarity about the risks that Arctech is taking, and I hope I get to be more on the Cardinal side with how he's deciding to proceed and take the OCS into a new direction. But for now, I'm suspicious. Also, when the Cardinal was talking with Lilith, he said a line that was like, there's a difference between accepting your path and correcting a great mistake. That line really irked me, because whose mistake is it? If the halo was supposed to be, supposed to go to Lilith, and instead it's been inserted into Ava, and she's, I don't know how many times we're gonna have to say this, but she was dead and the halo brought her back to life, and for some reason no one is taking that into account. No one suspects that maybe Ava is gonna serve a more meaningful, like deeper purpose with the OCS. And I just really, like, I hated the insinuation that the Cardinal is, when he talks to Lilith, the insinuation that there's been a mistake. To me, he's trying to say that God made a mistake. Like, God is the only person that could have resurrected Ava, and that's what the halo did. So the Cardinal's really rubbing me the wrong way. He's just kind of getting on my nerves, and again, I don't want him to be bad. It's just, there's, like, I'm seeing these signs, and it's just bad vibes from the Cardinal. I wish he would have been more specific about who he thought made a mistake. Because to me, it sounds like he thinks God made a mistake, and like, that, I don't like that. Especially coming from the Cardinal of the Catholic Church. So maybe he thought the surgeon made a mistake, but it feels like she did exactly what she was meant to do. And the halo chose Ava, I think. Like I said when I talked about episode 1, I think Ava is somehow an angel. I don't know how that could be possible, and at this point it doesn't really make sense, but she's special for some reason, and an angel is kind of the best answer that I have for that right now. So she's meant to be a warrior nun, and it really bothers me a lot that no one else in the church really believes in her. It's really just Father Vincent. So it's the cardinal that doesn't believe in Ava. Lilith obviously doesn't believe in Ava. Mother S backed the cardinal and thinks that, the halo's got to be retrieved from Ava. And all of that makes sense, but really no one is remembering that she was dead and now she's alive and has superpowers. Like, that doesn't strike anyone else in the church as being a message from God. So that, I don't know, man. It just bothers me so much. But I hope they see the error of their ways soon. So as a part of this new direction for the OCS, we see that the Cardinal sends like a group of sister warriors to Arctech to retrieve the shield. And I'm pretty sure this was the first time we actually get to see them in action, like doing battle and all of that. Because in the first episode, we only see the end of it, and we see them retreating after the mission because, Shannon's been injured and they're going back to the church. So this is the first time we actually see them in action, and it was awesome. I love seeing the hallway fight with Beatrice. That was well choreographed and just very well done. It reminded me a little bit of the Daredevil hallway fight. I think the Daredevil hallway fight was a little more impressive, but this fight with Beatrice was pretty great too. So it was nice to see her in action, to see what she can do, to see what all of our sort of main characters can do. Because we saw Camilla, and I guess she's sort of like the hacker of the group, so that's cool. And Lilith just seems like a all-out fighter, and I guess she's kind of the captain, maybe like organizing and delegating what everyone should do. Trying to think, did we actually see her give orders or anything? Actually, I don't think she did. Maybe that was Beatrice. But then again, Lilith ran off immediately because of Ava. So maybe she is the actual first in command, and maybe Beatrice is second. But yeah, the scene was awesome. I think it's interesting that there's obviously some tension between Lilith, Beatrice, and Camilla as far as the new direction that the Cardinal is taking the OCS. Of course, Lilith would be on board because the Cardinal wants her to be the Halo bearer. So, yeah, she's not going to be upset about that. But Beatrice and Camilla, at least, I appreciate that they have some form of loyalty towards Father Vincent. I don't know how long he's been with them, but I mean, they were concerned about him, I think. That's what it seemed like to me. They were at least concerned about what's going to happen with Father Vincent, and I mean, I am too. He lost his job, I guess, to the Cardinal, and so what's his role going to be going forward? I can only imagine he's still going to be in a part of the OCS, but really, what is he going to do now? Maybe, well, I guess what could happen is that there could be a sort of rogue faction of the OCS that Father Vincent leads. And we see that Father Vincent and Mary are starting to figure out what happened with Shannon, what happened on the mission. They know that Shannon was likely targeted, and someone with divinium had to have known that it could kill her. So yeah, check, it's someone in the church. I kind of hope it's not Lilith, because that would be the best twist I've ever seen. I think it would be astounding if it was someone other than Lilith, or someone not in the church. So I kind of hope that, I expect it to be Lilith, but if it's not Lilith that had something to do with Shannon's death, then, actually, if it is Lilith that had something to do with Shannon's death, I hope the show doesn't try to make it a reveal that's supposed to make your jaw drop, because it seems kind of clear. Seemed like not a lot of other suspects. It's basically just Lilith and someone in the church. So I don't know, maybe it'll be a very dramatic unfolding of information. But yeah, it seems so obvious. I think a rogue faction of the OCS with Beatrice, Mary, Camilla could be really awesome, and then they work together to try to convince Ava to join them instead of being with Cardinal Duretti and his, new direction, and with Lilith. Lilith will definitely be on the Cardinal side. So that could be, that could be fun to watch, but we'll see. I'll see how it goes. So also, when Mary is confessing to Father Vincent, she tells him that Shannon was targeted, and that there was a part of her habit was stuck in the wall. So obviously there's a hidden part of her room, and they need Ava to face through it. I wonder what could have been bothering Shannon, because even in the flashback we see in episode 1, she seemed sort of uneasy, or like her head wasn't, like she wasn't present and in the moment. Like she seemed like she was thinking pretty hard about something. And Mary tried to talk to her about it, but I think Shannon kind of brushed it aside. So what? It's probably something having to do with the church. I think maybe it has to do with some form of corruption within the church. I'm not sure how. Maybe it's surrounding the divinium, and maybe it has something to do with the reason why the Cardinal has a divinium ring. I don't know. It could be anything, but it's probably has to do with the church. So, I don't know. That'd be interesting to see. And I don't know. I hope I don't have to wait too long to find out, but I don't know if this season has 10 episodes or 8 episodes. But I'm on episode 4, so I hope we get that information relatively soon about what's going on. I don't feel like we're gonna get any answer to that in the next episode, so I'm probably gonna have to wait a while to see what Shannon was hiding. Okay, and so the thing that I knew all along, and you guys probably knew from the first episode as well, Sister Frances was killing people. She killed Ava. Like, you know what I'm most surprised about is that there wasn't a demon or a wraith demon attached to Sister Frances. I thought for sure that a demon was making her, you know, convincing her to try and kill Ava, but it's worse that there was no demons involved at all. She just wanted to and convinced herself that she was doing the right thing, but you know, if I was in Ava's shoes and, you know, woke up every morning with Sister Frances's menacing ass face looming over my bed every day, I would hate her too. Like, she had a fucking evil face the whole time. Yeah, so I'm not surprised it's just no demon. You just doing that because man, I don't get it. Supposedly a woman of faith, and it's just bothersome to say the least. And to be so like haughty about it and entitled, to just be like, I'm the savior, I'm releasing these souls, I'm the hero. Ugh. Well, I'm not sad she's gone. And Ava saved like many other people as well as Diego. So it's nice to see Diego again. I wasn't sure if we were gonna ever see him again after the first episode, but it's nice that even while Ava was considering like fleeing the country with JC, she still thought about Diego. So that's really sweet. I hope Diego is gonna get, you know, the real help he needs. I think Ava mentioned a sister Emmeline, something like that. So when he was running away down the hallway, I thought at first that maybe he was like gonna run away from the orphanage, and I thought like he's not gonna make it on the street. But hopefully he was running to get help, you know, from another nun. So hopefully he's gonna be okay and not be out on the street. And he saw the halo in Ava's back, and he called her an angel again. And I just feel like that kind of stuff is supposed to mean something. And in the first episode I'm pretty sure I talked about the dialogue between Ava and Diego about, you know, they kind of mentioned that Ava was an angel, and that's why I have my theory that she's an angel. So we got another sort of occurrence of that happening, and it's like I got my eyes out for that. And at the very end, finally Lilith finds Ava. At first when I watched this, I thought Lilith was gonna kick Ava's ass and, you know, take the halo from her. But after my rewatch, I sort of remembered something from Mother S. When she was training with Ava and Lilith, she mentioned that the halo bearer needed to have like an emotional strength to control the halo, control her powers. And so Lilith is going to run up on Ava when she mentally and emotionally is like not okay, especially after confronting Sister Frances and killing her. And then we saw Ava like leaving the orphanage, trying to convince herself that what she did was okay. She did it in self-defense. She saved herself. She saved others and Diego. Like, and as that, narration was happening, I just felt like Ava, like, I just didn't feel like trying to talk herself into thinking it was totally okay. Like, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think that's gonna make her feel any better about what happened. And so now that she's encountered Lilith, and Lilith is gonna try and take the halo out of her, I feel like Lilith expects to, mop the floor with Ava, but Ava's dangerous. Like, I think in her, mental, emotional state right now, she could really hurt Lilith, especially since she never fully trained to use her powers. And we saw earlier in the episode when Ava was with JC and his friends, she kind of freaks out and like breaks, kind of puts all these cracks in the mansion they were staying in. So something like that could easily happen again, and like a part of the orphanage could like fall on Lilith or something. So I feel like Lilith is actually in danger, and she doesn't have any idea about about the kind of fight she's gonna walk into. So it may not be, so easy for her. Also, I realized while rewatching this episode that there's a lot of people that want Ava this episode, and I don't know if that really means anything deeper, or it's just how the story kind of played out. But obviously the Cardinal and Lilith want Ava for the halo. Father Vincent and Mary want Ava to phase through Shannon's room. Dr. Jillian wants Ava, and I'll even throw in even JC wants Ava. So a lot of that happening in this episode. I wonder for next episode, like, who's going to get Ava for the, for next episode. I don't actually think it's going to be Lilith. I think she might be in trouble. So yeah, that's something I'm interested to see for next episode. And I think the one thing I'm most excited about for the next episode really is the fight between Lilith and Ava. Like, I don't think it's going to be so easy on Lilith. So I really want to see is Ava really going to put up a fight and be dangerous because of her emotional state? Or is it actually going to be easy for Lilith to capture her? I'm most interested to see that. Also, I thought that a Taras was going to show up in this episode, but we didn't get it, so could that be coming next episode? Could Lilith fighting Ava, and Ava maybe inadvertently using the Halo powers, could that draw a Taras to their fight? I don't know. I thought a Taras showing up was obvious for this episode, but we didn't get it, and I kind of hope we see one again, because I thought that with Ava not wearing that vest that hides the Halo's energy, I thought for sure Taras was going to show up, but haven't seen it so far, and I would still like to see it. So I hope that happens next episode too. I want to see the fight, and I hope a Taras interrupts. The title of this episode was Ecclesiasticus 26, 9-10. And it was a pain to find this meaning, actually, because I thought that the show was using a version of the Catholic Bible for these episode titles. But I learned a lot, actually. But I learned that the name Ecclesiasticus is not in the Catholic versions of the Bible. It's actually called Sirach. So that makes me think, okay, they're not using any particular Catholic Bible, which I thought would make sense considering the show was about the Catholic Church. But now, I don't know, now I gotta, I guess, be more careful about when I try and look this stuff up. But anyway, it says, verse 9 is, the haughty stare betrays an unchaste wife, her eyelids give her way. Verse 10, keep strict watch over a headstrong daughter, or else when she finds liberty, she will make use of it. And I have no idea how this episode title relates to this episode. Like this chapter of Sirach was about a wicked wife. So I don't get it. I don't get why they chose this title for this episode. Maybe verse 9 relates to the opening scene where it looks like there's a woman that's trying to maybe entice a guy into following her. And Ava follows, but I don't know about that. And maybe verse 10 is about Ava wanting to like find herself and live a full life. You know, I don't have any confidence in any of those interpretations, so I have no idea. I have no idea why it's called this. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Please let me know in the comments, why do you think this episode was called this? Yeah, just let me know like how you think this episode title relates to this episode. I truly am lost with this one. I thought my other interpretations for for the previous 3 episodes were pretty good, but this one, I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what did you think? What did you think about the episode? What do you think about the episode title? Yeah, if somehow your knowledge about the rest of the season helps you or informs you about this episode title, please save it. Okay? I don't want any spoilers, so just what did you think about this episode title? And did you even look it up? Did you look up any of the episode titles to see how they related to the episode? Let me know. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this video. Before you go, I want to let you know that you don't have to wait a week to hear my thoughts on the next episode. You can click the link in the description and get access to watch my next video right now. I'm sure future me has great thoughts about the next episode, probably insightful and very witty. So don't wait. Click the link below to watch it now. I'll see you there.